in today's world where attracting customers, retaining customers, and satisfying the customers, mapping customer journey are all buzzwords of corporate excellence. If I talk about firing the customer or getting rid of a customer, it may arouse reaction as if I'm speaking of a topic which is unwanted to be spoken of. But let us face the reality. When all of us joined the industry, probably 40 years or so back, customer service was not at the top of the thought process of the leadership of a company. At that time, products, location, price were ruling everything. Later on, from experience, it was learned that customer satisfaction, customer experience, and overall customer retention are key factors of growth and profitability. As we have come to the modern day, we are seeing in many industries customers getting overzealous, customers getting hyperactive. Many instances, such as in the airline industry, in the hotel industry, other retail industry, customers are tending to go to a level where it becomes unbearable either for the employee or for the enterprise to keep on satisfying them and holding on to that tantrum. This is true of individual customers. This is also true of corporate customers. So many times, although maybe in a very low percentage of the total cases handled, we will have to painfully decide that it is time to say the customer a goodbye. This firing of the customer, how do we handle it, is the subject of my discussion today. First thing is that this is not definitely the ideal situation where you are firing a customer or breaking the relationship or getting into a situation where you are no more interested in having them as a customer. You are either reporting them to the law enforcement agency or invoking the contract requirements. In such a situation, how do we deal it? Like any difficult situation, we need to be rational, well planned, non-emotive, and we must aim for a win-win kind of situation. So what are the various steps? First step is that generally severance of relationships should be done at an escalated level where review is objective. Whether the situation and the reasons behind the decision to fire a customer, like in case of a bank, it could be late payments, it could be unreasonable demands, it could be abusive behavior. Essentially, there is a value system which is coming into conflict. If there are boundaries that has been drawn by corporate policies and these have been crossed, definitely the review will point towards getting apart rather than staying together. Once such a decision has been broadly taken, it's very important to communicate. Many times an abrupt severing of the relationship spoils the entire thing. So a one-to-one call in an honest, professional and respectful tone must always be held, if necessary, by someone who is not involved in the process which led to the decision of firing the customer. Most of the professional situations that I have seen here as well as abroad is handled when you are parting ways or you are firing a customer is by offering an alternative. If a bank is deciding that it wants to close a particular account, it can always say that such and such NBFC or such and such bank will be happy to do it, and I will also facilitate. In China, they have a value system where if you cannot serve for some reason or the other, it is an incumbent duty as part of the culture to facilitate interaction with an alternate solution provider. One thing that we forget while being emotive, we do not cross informality, like when it was business as usual. Remember, I have already advised all of you that when it becomes stressful, whether it is a job discipline issue, whether it is a employee as a stakeholder who has been subjected to some amount of organizational discipline issue, whenever the relation becomes stressful, you need to document everything. And this will help in future legal disputes, which are quite possible. change in thought process or different versions which are likely to emerge. Next important thing while firing the customer is to stay away from being abrupt. If a customer who is traveling in your airline or who is visiting your bank for a particular transaction, you can decline this as politely as possible. But however, if it is a long standing relationship, you must provide notice as a standard operating process. You must explain why this decision was taken. You must clearly mention on what particular date you will be terminating the services or you will not be able to serve the customer any further. And last but not the least, 2 or 3 things which come together. One is offering assistance during the transition. When you are firing a customer, you will have to cooperate with the new service provider, adhering to the intellectual property right and other contractual things that has been given. And whenever in doubt, err on the side of the caution. You must maintain professionalism, avoid all types of personal attacks, be nuanced while giving negative feedback, because at the end of it, your reputation is more important and the professionalism will seal it out. All this process should be a learning process. Firing a customer is not easy, but firing a customer on value-based and organizational process-based thing may be necessary in order to protect the organization from further bleeding or further pains. But in all those cases, these must be continuously internalized to improve your customer satisfaction process and establishing clear boundaries that will help minimize the likelihood of needing to fire customers on a regular basis, because otherwise it will point to something which is not in the interest of the organization as a whole. While it is very important to focus on customer satisfaction and building strong relationships and resolving issues on a continuous basis, many times we face this reality. So I thought that this set of tips will be very useful to all of you. Thank you very much.